Take it away.
Hi, I'm Tony Jin, and I'm speaking here on behalf of my life story and many of the children that grew up like me, the lost children of the city, so to speak. I was born to a 14-year-old mother, and I grew up basically on my own in a household full of abuse, child abuse, violence, and drugs and alcohol abuse. A lot of single-family parents out there are having struggling with their children, and I am a product of that environment. I became a very selfish child to survive in the streets. I was a good kid. I went through churches and through families and through many households to find a love and find a place where I fit in. I somehow managed to graduate high school from the backseat of my car, and I got into drugs and parties in Hollywood, and at first it was kind of great. I mean, it was a pleasure addiction, if you will, and when you're addicted to pleasure, it can get pretty selfish. Long story short, I gone through 6 prison sentences, 20 drug rehabs, homeless on the street. I was a heroin addict, a cocaine addict, using needles. I've been on the streets and homeless for so long, and I didn't know how to get off this vicious cycle that we all talk about. We get into a habit, a pattern in our life that we just can't be able to break out of it. And I can't tell you the answer to your specific detail, but I know the general answer, and it was getting out of my own head. I heard it a million times. You know, I was so selfish. I mean, every time I got out of prison or out of a rehab or out of a situation that, thank God, I got out of, it was where I was going to go next. Where am I going to live? What am I going to wear? Who are going to be my friends? What am I going to do? And it was me, 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 me. I could never satisfy me, especially coming from a very addiction, habits, abusive habits, very bitter and resentful. What about me, dear God? You know, and I gotta tell you, I wish I can tell you it happened overnight, but it's a long process of finally, desperately figuring out that I can never satisfy myself. I can never have enough. It was always wanting more, and it was always my problem. Until I finally listened to that message I've been hearing all my life. Be there for others. You know, when I finally turned my head to the prisoner that was sitting next to me, that I didn't want to talk to, that I didn't want nothing to do with him, and I said good morning to him. And guess what? He didn't want to say good morning back. But it's none of my business how other people react to me. It was my business to express myself, my true self. And I've got to tell you, after 30, 40 years of being so selfish, it was so difficult just to say good morning to somebody, especially somebody that doesn't say good morning back. But that became my spiritual exercise. I started getting out of my own head, looking at other people, looking at you, sincerely saying, how are you? How you been? Sit down and just listen to somebody. Listen to somebody else's story. It wasn't so much what I got out of it. It was an exercise within my own spirit. In prison, I spoke to other prisoners. I listened to other prisoners. And it was just a practice. I took it out here in the homeless. I came to Venice Beach, which was one of the best places to be homeless at. And out here on the grass hill, you know, the bum next to me, the smelly person, the angry person that was next to me that I never wanted anything to do with, I said good morning. I said, how you doing? And there was a development of trust there. Every day I said hello, every day. And you know what? You can say hello to somebody for a whole year and never know anything about them. But if somebody was to ask you, do you know that person that said hello to you? You would say, no, but they're great. They're a good person. Why are they great? Why are they good? You don't even know them. All they did was say hello to you for a whole year. But what is good and what is great is they acknowledge your existence. It's such a powerful thing to acknowledge another human being's existence. Such a powerful sense of respect. I mean, the person who's been sitting out there on the sidewalk for 24 hours, for 24 days, for 24 years, nobody says hello. Nobody cares. And if you can just say hello, it lifts them up a little bit. And regardless, again, it's none of your business how they react, but it does help them. But mostly it helps you. It's like a spiritual gym. The whole world, all the people around you, the people right in front of you, is your spiritual gym. It's your opportunity to exercise your goodness. You bring that out from inside you. It's not something, I always, as an addict, as abusive, as being disrespected. I always wanted and waited for the silver platter to come and serve me, to help me. Dear God, please help me. It was always something from outside, either drugs or sex or a party or somebody helping me out with clothes or food or drugs. And it was always from the outside coming in to fix me. It helped. It fixed me for a little while. But I've always chased, I've always looked, and it was never satisfied. It was finally realizing and believing that it's all inside me. When I was sitting to myself for so many years, I finally said to the guard, hey, can you bring me a book? Can you bring me, I respected him. It was getting out of myself, and just such a development within my own spirit that by the time I was out here walking around, people were acknowledging me. They're saying, that's a good guy. And I got a job. I just got a job. I got a job today, but when my job, I was able to practice that selfless and just say, how can I help? What can I do? Or how you been? And just that exercise of selflessness has taken me to a place I've never been. I don't need drugs anymore. I'm not homeless anymore. I live on the beach with a girlfriend that I'm in love with. And how did I get that? She found me. My mother always told me, don't chase them, don't chase them. Well, I was chasing them because I wanted to buy them something. I wanted to show them something. And it wasn't about that anymore. I was taking care of myself. I got a job as a limo driver. I was homeless out here on Venice Beach, and I was sleeping in the limo car. And they let me keep the car, so I was able to sleep in the car and save some paychecks. And before I knew it, I met a woman that we became friends, and we started dating, and now we're roommates, and we're living together, and my whole life has been changed. I wrote a book called My Blessed Demons. And I'm not trying to sell you a book, but it's my life story. And it's about how we all have demons within us, and how difficult it is to face those demons. I know it's shameful and guilty, and you know those family secrets that we don't want to talk about. How many years did I go to school and looked at the teacher into her eyes, and I couldn't tell her that my mother was getting beat up by my drunk stepfather every night for 10 years? How could I go to church and praise Jesus when my mother was getting beat at home and I couldn't tell anybody? I was only 7 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old. And these are the kind of things that a child, family secrets, has to live with. And you talk about being distracted. ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, they're pretty simple to me. But, you know, it was just trying to hide the pain and not knowing where to go with it. I really believe that my book and my life story is to pull the covers and to reveal the secrets of family abuse, family drugs and alcohol that goes on in the family that we don't want to hide. I mean, that we hide and we don't want to reveal. It's time to break that cycle. It's time to, speak for the children right now, and that's what I'm crying about right now. It's a child. There's a child right now, 5 years old, 10 years old, at home, watching their parents beat each other to death. And scream over drugs and alcohol. And I just want to be here for that voice. And just because I'm here for others, and just because I'm here for you, my life has changed tremendously. And I really appreciate this opportunity to share my story and just to pass this message on. I can't believe where I am today, and I can't believe the amount of peace that I live in my life today. And I just hope that my message gets across to you. Thanks.